wait for the thumbs up.
So when you do the score up here, the Arizona's on this side, you have to hit update after you do the score.
Okay.
But the count, you don't have to hit update.
Okay. I think we got one strike. All right, folks, we are back to the Ecker Fields in Monroe, Utah for some more 8U baseball. This is day 2 of the Pacific Southwest Regionals baseball tournament. And today we are watching South Sevier against Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm joined by Stuart Hepworth.
Yeah, a little bit different today, Rick. The weather's a little bit hotter. We don't have quite the cloud cover yet, but you know, great day for baseball.
As Nix Roberts starts us off and hits a line drive to number 10, and he caught that in the air. Great hit, though. This is a good sign for South Sevier starting off hitting the ball.
Is that raise we have up now, Rick? It looks like it is. I think we probably have the same lineup as yesterday, but let's hope that these kids can get off to a good start and score a run or two this first inning just to get that momentum going.
I believe Rays started off with that line drive. Correction for what I said earlier. Rays started off with the line drive, and now this is Nix batting second.
Yeah, those two boys sometimes look alike, especially from a distance, but you know, I confuse their names even when I know who I'm talking to, so when I'm not sure, it makes it even harder.
And swung on strike 2 for Nix Roberts. On deck will be Kelton Porter, followed by Riley Sawyer. Swung on, and that's strike 3 for Nix Roberts. Kelton Porter coming to the bat. He had a hot bat yesterday. Let's hope he can continue to put the bat on the ball. This 8U, good things can happen when you put the bat on the ball. And ball 1, high. We've seen some great teams in this tournament, Stuart, and the team we lost against yesterday was Northern California, and they were a tough team.
Yeah, definitely. That Northern California team is what I would expect to be one of the better teams here. They did lose the first game to Central California, but it was a nail-biter, and I think those two are the teams to beat. And this Scottsdale team, I think they're going to be very solid as well.
Swung on, and that's a strike for Kelton Porter. The South Sevier Rams are coached by Nate Roberts, head coach. Lance Robert, assistants, with Michael Matthey, assistant also. But Stuart, it's also been very much a team effort. There's a lot of dads, parents, myself and you included, who have spent time with all these boys. Swung on, strike 2 for Porter.
Yeah, really, and these coaches have done a great job. Lance and Nathan and Justin and Michael Matthey, they've all done a great job of getting these kids where they're at. And as a father, I know I'm really appreciative of all they've done.
And that's a ball high for Porter as he takes ball 4 for walk. Porter will be on first, coached by Michael Matthey. Porter's got some fast legs. Look for any kind of a bobbled ball or passed ball, and he'll be on second for sure. Now a line drive back to the pitcher It goes to first for the third out of the inning. Riley Sawyer with the line drive. Hopefully we'll get some sponsors for you here, but also in the field for, we don't have the lineup yet in the field. I would imagine Riley Sawyer will start out pitching. Looks like Madden Matthew will be playing right field. Did you have the sponsors in that?
Mine.
Yeah. Did you keep them?
Yeah, just looking right now, it looks like Madden is in right field, and center field looks like Kelton Porter, Cutler Hepworth at first, Easton Twitchell at second. Is that Nix at shortstop, Riley Sawyer pitching. Right field is Knox Piper. Third base, it looks like Rays Roberts, if I'm recognizing those boys correctly, and then that would make Kel probably the catcher, Kel Larson. Now looking, I'm thinking that's Rays at shortstop and Nix at third. I think I said the opposite just a second ago.
The umpires last night were in the USA flag outfits, and this morning the umpires were wearing pink. Now they're in their official red jerseys. As Riley Sawyer warmed up by the coach.
And truthfully, my hat kind of goes off for these officials as well. You know, they've got a crew of 4 that's done every single game. They've just rotated responsibilities, and you know, it's sometimes good to have that kind of consistency where the kids are getting used to the same kind of officiating game in, game out.
Riley Sawyer at the mound, kind of Salsavere's leader. Probably he pitches the most and does the best. And I think they have a rule here where each pitcher will pitch 2, they can pitch 2 innings. They'll be needed to sub out.
Yes, and like I said yesterday, that becomes a very strategic part of these 8U games where the pitching can dictate how well or how poorly a team does throughout a game, and with the pitchers changing so constantly, the games can change in the blink of an eye, as we saw our first game where we had a good lead throughout the game, and then, you know, the last inning the other team came back and beat us by 1 run.
The lefty, number 27 for Scottsdale, leads off. Here's the pitch. And a long fly ball to left field. That's dropped by Madden Matthew. In right field. Quickly got it into second base and limited the damage to a single. I believe Madden got under it, but just couldn't find the mitt.
Yeah, it was a good effort by Madden. He got underneath the baseball, looked like he was going to catch it, just didn't quite squeeze it tight enough or get it in the pocket.
As Scottsdale still second. Good throw by Kel, but that number 27's got some speed. Rays Roberts covering on short. Second pitch, strike 2. The count is 2 strikes, no balls. Pitcher's count right here for Sawyer. And we have some kind of timeout. It might be a bat change. All these kids are, yes, it is a bat change. All these kids are forced to use, well, they're not they're supposed to use USA bats. Sometimes every once in a while a US AAA bat will get in. Grounder to Nix, and he makes the tag, and that's an out on third. Fielder's choice. The runner wasn't forced, didn't need to go, but Nix picked it up and tagged him for the out. 1 out for the Rams.
That was really a good heads-up play by Nix because there was no force on that play, and had the runner went back, we wouldn't have had an out in that situation. So good play by Nix Roberts there.
Number 14 for Scottsdale steps up to the plate with 1 ball. Takes a few practice swings and looks for his sign. Steps in the box. And a pop fly to Cutler Hepworth. That might be a fair ball. And it looks like it is a fair ball. And the runner advances to second.
Well, Cutler's really struggling with those pop flies. He dropped a couple yesterday, and he's got to get the confidence to squeeze that in there and catch that ball. That should be an easy out for us.
And a pass ball to third. Kell picks it up and throws it to third. And it's going to go to the outfield. We might have a play at third. And Scottsdale gets their first run. It's really hard to limit the damage after an error. Sometimes they multiply. And swung on. Might be a foul tip. And a ground ball to third. Nix Roberts picks it up and makes a wild throw to first. Runner advances to second. And an RBI for number 24.
Again, that's where those errors hurt you, giving away outs and giving the other team opportunities to get extra runners on base. So these are all plays that we need to make and limit the damage here. Hopefully we'll get these next 2 outs.
Ground ball in the dirt. Runner goes to third. Count is 2 balls, 1 strike. I was thinking about this, Stuart. How many people can say they've commentated a baseball game from a Chevy pickup truck?
All I know is there's no complaining from me. That AC is feeling fine, and I know how hot it is outside right now, so I'll take it right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at my rear view mirror with the temperature gauge, and it says it's 93 degrees. I announced the first game from behind home plate, and I asked Michael if I could make it happen from my truck seat with the AC, so we're kind of got the best seats in the house right here, Stuart.
Yeah, I'm sure I'd agree with that one, and again, I can't complain sitting in an AC truck watching this ball game.
Quite a few fans in the stadium for both Scottsdale. Ooh, we have a play, and he's out at home plate. Kel Larson picks up the pass ball and makes a quick play. Gets out number 2 for the Rams. The player might be hurt a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's okay, just sliding into home base right there. Sometimes you scuff up a knee or you run into the catcher and bang yourself up, but I think he's okay.
At 8U, and I've noticed in some of our practices, a lot of our, we've had to practice sliding. A lot of them, it's hard for them to gauge when to slide too early or too late. And we have a time on the field. Umpire goes back to the scorebook to make sure everything's correct.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're looking at the count, because I was under the impression that last strike was strike 3, and apparently it wasn't. I have the count as being full, but I think that's what they're checking on to figure out what the count is.
And they've settled it. Batter back looking at the coach, steps into the box. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, ball 4. Some of these ball 4 pass balls, when I was watching the Taylorsville team, and they gave them a green light to go ahead and send them to second if they can get down to first in time. So hopefully South Severe will be aware of that. And the runner goes. Ball in the dirt for Kell. Sawyer the pitch. Swung on and a strike.
Yeah, this is a point where Riley really needs to bear down, throw strikes, and hopefully we can get this third out right here.
And ball in the dirt. Runner will advance to third. And the score is 2-0. And now I think we got our scoreboard correct. Hit update. Score is 2-0. And where the big lefty steps up to the plate. This kid looks like he could play in a 13U age bracket. And he watches strike 1 go by.
Yeah, I think this hitter is actually bigger than my 10-year-old, so he dwarfs all of our 8-year-olds. Let's see how he does up there at the plate.
A lot of these kids using a towel to cool them off. He forgot to take it off. Stepped up to the plate and the umpire made him take his towel off. It is now climbing to 91 degrees here. As Stewart adjusts his AC. I'll tell you, we got it good here.
Oh, I missed that last pitch, Rick. Do you know what it was?
I think it was a ball. And another ball. The big guy watches it go by. We're doing our best with the tools we have here. We have Game Changer in my hand, trying to keep updated. Stewart's doing this balls and strikes and score, and we're just trying to keep you updated with this game as Scottsdale with the 2-0 lead over the Rams.
I think the difficult thing is that we're both dads, so we do as much spectating as fans as anything else. So forgive us when we make mistakes with the count and the score and everything else.
And the bases are loaded for Scottsdale. The ball is ball 1. And line drive back to the pitcher. He gets the out at first and ends the inning with the bases loaded. Great play by Riley Sawyer to limit the damage done. And after 1 inning, the score is 2-0, Scottsdale with the lead. But it could have been a lot worse, Stuart. Riley Sawyer ends up making a play to help himself out. Great job being aware of the outs, too. Up next for the Rams will be Kel Larson, the catcher, Cutler Hepworth, Grayson Weary, Knox Piper, Easton Twitchell, followed by Madden Matthey.
And again, we just need something positive to happen with the bats. You know, we didn't score last game, and we were shut out the first inning, so hopefully we can get some runs going this inning.
Let's look for Kel Larson to start us off. He's been hitting the ball well. Sometimes it's been right to the defensive players, but he's been hitting the ball well this week. Michael, did you have those sponsors? Feel a little bit guilty as Michael Parsons is out in the heat working the camera, gets us our sponsors as I roll down the window from our air-conditioned truck. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 2021 Cal Ripken 8-year-old Pacific Southwest Regional Tournament. If you're just joining us, this is broadcast from KTTA, and we'd like to just thank all of our sponsors for bringing this local programming to you. We couldn't make it happen without all these sponsors. Sevier County, Monroe City, Snow College, Jorgensen Honda, Sevier Valley Hospital, Kimball and Roberts CPA, Monroe Canyon Assisted Living, Jones and DeMille Engineering, Sevier Valley Oil, and Big O Tires. We'll go over them individually, but all those businesses and organizations are what brought you the ability to watch these games from your couch. And Stuart Hepworth and myself, Rick Weary, are pleased to be able to announce this game. Kel Larson steps in the box. And a good pitch. Good hit up the middle. What? I believe there's confusion on the field because Kel stayed in the box. I believe time might have been called, and that nullifies the single. Kel Larson has this habit of holding his hand up as he steps in the box, and he might have had his hand up as the pitcher didn't notice, and the pitcher was good for it, and Kel swung fast enough to get a hit, but the time was called. And even a better hit, that's going to fall in the gap. Good hitting for Kel as he stands on first.
Yeah, that was fortunate. You know, that the first single wasn't totally nullified because he stepped in there and got another one. So, yeah. Good way to start this inning.
How bad would that have been if he hit a single and then hit an out or something? So glad Kel's sitting on first base. And Kel gets caught stealing second. Catcher comes up with a great throw right on the money. And now Kel walks to the long walk to the dugout. Ball.
Yeah, I think these coaches are doing whatever they can to try to get some momentum and get something happening. Unfortunately, that time it resulted in a base runner being caught stealing second base.
And off the handle for Hepworth. Cutler's also been hitting the ball well. In the last game he hit the ball, but it just every time it was either third or shortstop. But good hard hits. Let's hope he finds a gap here. And he looks at ball outside. Three balls, one strike, the count for Hepworth. And that's just on the outside corner. Fulls up the count. Hepworth in the box, ready to go, and the umpires call timeout. there might be some more confusion. And some of the players looking at the sky, we might have a little bit of cloud cover.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the holdup is right here, but it seems like there is definitely some confusion as to the count or something. I'm not sure.
As Hepworth steps in the box. Ball 4, Hepworth takes the walk to first. And now my son, Grayson Weary, who is definitely due for a hit, takes a couple practice swings. Gray had a hard day on the second game yesterday, and I talked to him, and my advice to him as he looks at strike 1 on the outside corner, so my advice to him was you need to go into the batter's box fearless.
Well, sometimes these kids, they get a little upset or down on themselves when they have a bad at bat, or they don't make a play in the field, and it carries over to, one side or the other, whether it's defense or hitting the ball, and they need to learn to forget the bad plays and move to the next one.
And on the outside corner, the ump rings him up. Grayson runs back to the dugout.
Yeah, I didn't realize he had 2 strikes on him. I was thinking there was 2 balls and a strike at that point.
That pitcher pitched 2 pitches on the outside corner, and that looked like this exact same pitch there. From our angle, 2 of those pitches could have been questionable, but as a coach, you got to teach your boys you can't let the 3rd pitch go by if it's close.
Absolutely. It's, always a rule when you have 2 strikes to protect that plate, and if it's close to the plate, you've got to, foul it off or put it into play.
Now up is Knox Piper. Knox has a pretty good bat. He can find the ball. And another outside pitch. The other thing I need to teach my son Grayson is to slide up against that plate. Sometimes he's a little hesitant and is in the back of the box. And Knox hits a foul ball in play, but no catch. Also, I believe this game is, I think there's a famous quote that this game is 99% mental. And so when players are in a slump or make an error, those can multiply. And Piper takes ball 4. Runners on first and second with 2 outs as Easton Twitchell comes up to bat. Ball 1 for Twitchell. Madden Matthey on deck.
Easton had a really good hit yesterday, hit one down the first base line, ended up on third base for a triple. If he could do something like that right now, that'd be a huge lift for our kids.
And the umpire likes that outside pitch. Strike 1 for Easton. And Easton swings at a high one, fouls it off. He'll need to protect here. Scottsdale with a 2-0 lead. And another foul tip as Easton battles. I just got a text from my wife. She said Grayson gets the worst calls, so I think the fans also were discouraged at that outside call.
Yeah, Rick, from here, those did not look like strikes. So Just a little bit of a unfortunate plate appearance that time.
And a low ground ball. A swinging bunt, we'll say, as Twitchell gets the hit and loads up the bases for Madden Matthey.
You know, with 2 outs, this is where we really need something good to happen to get a run in, whether it's a pass ball or just, you know, a hit and someone driving in runs. Whatever it takes to get that run on third into the plate is going to be big for this South Sevier 8U team.
Especially with 2 outs, we look for Madden Matthey to, and that's a ball. Count is no ball, no strikes, 2 balls. Pitcher having a hard time finding the strike zone. And Madden. And a pass ball, and the Rams score. South Sevier Rams on the board with 1 run. Did you update?
I think I've got the score right now.
And that'll be 3-0. And the pitcher finds the strike zone. Hitters count right here for Madden Matthey. South Sevier can get past Madden. They'll have the first of their lineup, and that's ball 4. Up to bat will be Ray's Roberts.
And this is a good sign. We're right back to the top of the order with you know, the leadoff hitter of our lineup, and both Ray's and Nick's, who's next, I believe, have really been hitting well. So if we can get a big hit right now, that could change the momentum of this game and the tide and get our boys' spirits up.
The coach for Scottsdale wants to bring all of his infield to the mound to talk about this. Coach Nate Roberts also heads down to have a talk with his son. Probably telling him, make sure it's a good pitch with the pitcher struggling. Right here, a walk is just as good as a walk is as good as run. Aggressive, a line drive to left field. Hard pill to swallow. A great hit for Ray's Roberts, and that left fielder did not have to move an inch.
Yeah, unfortunately, he hit that one on the button, but it was straight at the left fielder. So a little bit of bad luck there. You know, in a lot of games that ends up being an error or a hit, and we score everybody on the bases. So just some bad luck, but we get out of that inning, we score a run, we're off the schneid, and we're on the scoreboard. So hopefully we can get them up, 3 up, 3 down, and get back to the bats now.
And we'll bring a sponsor to you. Sevier County, the commissioners Ralph Brown, Tudor Ogden, and Scott Johnson strive to represent the residents of Sevier County in the best way possible. They support growth and development of all high school athletes and youth athletics. Monroe City, thank you Monroe City for hosting this regional tournament. July 24th celebration also. It's a great atmosphere here in Monroe, and we picked a great week to have this regionals tournament with all the also 24th of July Pioneer Day festivities going on. A lot of these boys will also compete in the 3-on-3 basketball.
Is that 3-on-3 on Thursday night for these boys? I think it is, right?
Yes, they might play a baseball game in the day and a tournament at night.
I was telling Coach Lance Roberts today that, you know, as I picked up my boy and he was picking up his boy from basketball camp this morning, that these 8-year-olds, they have unlimited energy. I don't know if you can wear them out until it's midnight. So playing basketball in the morning, baseball in the afternoon and evening, and again at night, I think they can do it.
Yeah, these kids had a long day yesterday with a doubleheader, and we got home from baseball, and my boys wanted to play basketball in the driveway. And the warm-up's done. Batters up for Scottsdale.
You know, I was just noticing too, Rick, they've made some changes in the field, it looks like. They've moved Cutler from first base over to shortstop, and it looks like Reyes is over at first. I think that might be Berkeley out in right field now, is it? No, that looks like Grayson now that I look closer. You can tell better than me.
We'll get that info for you shortly. I believe our outfield is left field, Knox Piper, center field, Kelton Porter, right field, Grayson Weary, and ball four for Scottsdale, first runner on base. When I was a kid playing this sport, you don't know how many times my father yelled at me if I walked a player, because he told him, you're giving him nothing but a free ride. Yeah, it's number 45 on first base. Sawyer having a hard time finding the strike zone, 3-0. And Sawyer gets it across the plate for strike one. And now Sawyer settles in for strike two. Runner steals to second. Takes the force off for Scottsdale. And Sawyer rings him up for out number one.
That was a great job by Riley in that situation. He started him off with 3 balls, but came back with 3 straight strikes to get the out.
Great battle by Sawyer as he faces the next batter. Ground ball to first base. Rays Roberts picks it up and steps on first base. They advance. Scottsdale advances the runner.
I think this would be a really, really big inning if we could get out of this without allowing that runner from third to score. Let's hope that Riley can buckle down and get this hitter.
Sawyer winds up. And the first one in the dirt, ball one. Close for Sawyer. Two outs for the Rams in the second inning. Scottsdale, your designated home. And that ball looked close, but umpire calls it a ball.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that one missed. It must have been high, but he didn't call the low one, so I'm not sure why he didn't call the higher one.
And he calls that one a strike one for Sawyer. And ground ball to shortstop. Hepworth picks it up. Wild throw. The runner advances to second. And Scottsdale gets another run. 3 runs to 1. And the runner on second. That ball was in a hard spot to get. Hepworth ended up getting to it.
Yeah, he probably shouldn't have thrown that ball in that situation. I don't think he would have got him out even if the throw was on line. But, you know, these kids are just learning the game, and mistakes like that are going to happen.
And a deep, a fly ball to second base, and Easton Twitchell misread that, and another run will score. I might have misjudged that myself, same as Easton Twitchell.
Yeah, that was actually a tough play for Easton. He would have had to retreat to get back to it and just couldn't quite get underneath it.
Now the runner on first, 2 outs. Score is 4-1. Pop fly, and that goes behind the dugout. Scottsdale able to score 2 runs with 2 outs. And swung on another strike in the dirt. Oh, he might have got a piece of it. The umpire sends the runner back to first. Batter in the pucks. Sawyer the pitch. Ground ball to third. Great play. Gets the out. Great job, Nix Roberts, to end the inning. Hard hit ground ball. Picks it up and makes the easy throw to second. Great job by Cutler Hepworth covering second.
You know, truthfully, I don't think that was Cutler's ball to be covering. It was the second baseman's, but we'll take whatever out we can get at this point.
Yeah. And after 2 innings, we have a score of 4-1. Scottsdale with the lead. These games are also timed, so sometimes you'll go a full 6 innings. Sometimes you'll only go till the clock runs out.
Yeah, I think that time limit is 1 hour and 45 minutes, if I remember correctly, and generally speaking, that's enough time to tell who's the better team in most situations. And when not, it's a game that's a toss-up. Whatever team comes out on top earns it in the end.
Yeah. And the scores table does a good job of starting the clock so everybody knows at what point they won't start the next inning. We'd just like to first, before we read some sponsors, also thank Michael and Reggie Parsons at KTTA for all the work they've done. If I look to my left, Michael is out in the heat running the camera, and these guys work so hard in all of the sports that they broadcast.
You know, when Michael was in high school, I'd say he's out there just trying to get a tan, but now that he's married with kids, I'm not sure he needs that tan anymore.
We like to thank them for all the hard work. Again, you know, when we first found out we were hosting these tournaments, I thought of any way I'm being in a wheelchair, what I can do to help. And the first thought that came to my mind was I'd love to commentate or announce, and I've been able to do a lot of that. And I'm just grateful to. I mean, how cool is it to be able to announce a game for your own sons?
You know, in my situation, I'm not much with my hands as far as doing physical labor. I don't know how to put a hammer or a nail in a piece of wood, so helping with fields and taking care of those things is not my forte. And so I jumped on this opportunity to help Rick out, and it's been a ball. So just happy to be here, happy to be with Rick, sitting in this air-conditioned truck, watching this 8U tournament.
Yeah, when we found out what all goes into hosting, we knew we were going to have a lot of work. The dirt needed to be replaced. The grass needed to be some of the sprinklers needed to be adjusted and changed. And you wouldn't believe the volunteers that showed up on multiple Saturdays to come in and help get these fields looking so nice. I've been in the luxury of sitting behind the backstop, and I hear a lot of people commenting on how great these fields look. Nix Roberts up to bat for the Rams. And the Scottsdale, Arizona has a new pitcher on the mound. I mentioned the rule: if a pitcher pitches more than 2 innings, he will have to have a full day's rest. And that's strike 3 for Nix Roberts. Up next, Kelton Porter. Kelton walked his last at bat. And ball 1 in the dirt. Pitcher pitching from the windup. And a hard line drive. Fair ball right to the right field. That ball traveled fast and got past the first baseman as Kelton Porter stands on first.
Yeah, that was a great hit by Kelton. He just went the other way with it and hit a line drive down the first base line. So great job, Kelton.
Next up will be Riley Sawyer. Riley backs into the box, ground ball to second base. And the second baseman makes a great play on a hard hit ground ball.
Yeah, a little unfortunate for Riley on that one. It was a one-hop, grounder to the second baseman, and he hit that in on the nose, and unfortunately that took a little bit of a candy hop, and the second baseman was able to field it cleanly and get the out at first.
Now up, Kel Larson. Kel had a hit for South Sevier last at bat.
Again, it'd be huge right here if we could get a run across the plate and just stay as close as possible in this game. Right now, 4-1, we're in this ball game, and any run right now is going to help us.
This pitcher throwing definitely harder. Ground ball to shortstop. And he makes a great play to get the out at first. I mentioned the pitcher throwing hard. He's a big boy. I believe that pitcher's probably bigger than all of our boys.
Yeah, and that was a really clean inning for the Scottsdale team. You have to give them credit. We put the bat on the ball. Everybody but Nix, I think, hit the ball hard, and they made plays. So, that's the name of the game in baseball is you have to back your pitcher up when the ball's put into play, and Scottsdale did that inning. Looks like we got a new pitcher for the Rams coming out for the bottom half of this third inning. If I can see that correctly, looks like Nix has gone to the mound. So, Riley's pitched 2 innings and did an outstanding job, as he's always done. And let's hope that Nix can duplicate what Riley did and maybe even do better to keep this game well within reach.
Yeah, for this tournament, I remember Michael, our league director, said that as hosting this tournament, his one bit of advice from other people hosting, he says, if something can go wrong, it will. And we had a team a week ago cancel out of this tournament. And so what I'm getting at is South Sevier, all these other teams will have a 1-day rest, and as hosts and the team that's most available to pick up a game, the South Sevier Rams will pick up an extra game tomorrow. What that means is they don't have a day's rest, and so South Sevier really needs to follow that rule of not pitching their pitchers more than 2 innings. And quite frankly, most all teams have been following that rule up until now. We haven't seen any kids pitch more than 2 innings. As the players warm up, we'll get a few more sponsors for you. Snow College. You will find everything you need to succeed in your education at Snow College. With campuses in Ephraim and Richfield, Snow College is rated in the top 10% for community colleges in the nation. Visit their website today at www.snowcollege.edu. As Salsevier is ready for a batter.
Rick, as I look at your truck's temperature reading, it's up to 99 degrees outside right now, and I can't say how much I'm enjoying this air conditioning right now.
Oh yeah, it's and also with a little bit of cloud cover and a little bit of moisture in the air, it's definitely humid out there. I kind of feel sorry for these boys to have to play in this heat. Cutler Hepworth, line drive, and just off the palm of his glove. I feel for Hepworth. I can see the frustration on him.
Yeah, it's funny. He usually catches the ball really well, but there's just a little bit of a mental block right now with those kind of hits. And even though that would have been a tough play, he got the mid on it, and he definitely feels like he should have made it. You can tell by his body language out there.
The lefty for Scottsdale in the box. Ray's Roberts having a little bit of hard time finding the strike zone.
And I'm sure I have the count all messed up right now. I'm not sure what it is.
And another ball.
2-2, is that what it looked like?
Arcing pitch for Roberts. And ball 4. Runners on first and second where the big kid. I would like to get a picture, Stuart, of this kid if he gets on the second or third, standing next to some of our boys, because this kid is a big boy.
Yeah, and I'm sure if he puts the bat on the ball, he can hit it pretty darn hard, as big as he is.
And a slow roller to shortstop. Hepworth with not really much of a play to make. It was such a slow roller. Looked at third and the runner was already there.
Yeah, I think he was frustrated when he caught that. He was looking to go to third and didn't make the throw. I think he probably should have thrown it anyway, but you know, sometimes not throwing it is good just to keep the runners in check. But again, that wasn't an easy play, but maybe one that could have been made.
I kind of looked at more of a swinging bunt, actually. I mean, it was in the perfect spot, not able for the pitcher or the third baseman to get it. Cutler Hepworth doing a good job charging the ball, just unable to make a play. I think he made the right choice. But I know, Stuart, you're a little bit harder on your son. I know I'm pretty hard on my boys today.
Oh, the thing I worry about with Cutler is he's a little bit of a perfectionist out there, and he'll get his head down if he feels like he should have made a play and wasn't able to, and that'll carry over to other parts of the game. And again, it's with these 8-year-olds, that's the hardest thing for them to learn, is to shake off the plays they feel like they should have made and not let it carry over to the next play.
And a line drive to shortstop. Hepworth going home, but late on the play. And we might make a substitution. Nope, coach is just talking to the catcher.
Cutler fielded that play okay, but I think sometimes we tell them that the play's home because the bases are loaded, but with these kids, a lot of times we need to just get out. And the easy play probably would have been the better play right there, going to second or even throwing it all the way to first. But, we made a good throw, we made a good catch, just not in time.
And it's interesting, too. I watched a little bit of 9U baseball, and it is a big jump also next year. I think it's important for coaches to teach the right decision there was to go home, and next year Cutler might have a little more strength and get that home. So it is hard to judge. Sometimes, especially in this situation for Salsevier, I believe you'd trade an out for a run. No outs, and Salsevier just trying to stop the bleeding. And a ball inside for Roberts. And ball 4 loads up the bases. Coach brings the infield in. Stuart, I keep finding myself saying their big kid is up to bat, but Scottsdale has a lineup of big kids. They're all large kids, and
Yeah, you're right. And if you look at our kids, they seem to be all the same size. Doesn't seem like we have any big kids. I would say Grayson is probably the biggest kid on our team, and he's really not bigger than anybody else out there.
Yeah, Grayson is built like a truck. Also, I keep saying it over the air also, but we still got to remind ourselves these kids are 8 years old. I'm getting texts from my wife as my son struck out last inning, and she's trying to give him the pep talk and said how frustrated he was in his head mentally because of the strikeout.
But that's the great thing about sports and this game in particular, where kids have to learn how to deal with bad things and deal with adversity. That's a life lesson that sports teaches, and I love the fact that these kids are having to struggle a little bit and having to learn how to deal with defeat and striking out or making an error, whatever it is, because that's what life's all about.
Absolutely. We failed to mention also a few substitutions in the game. I'm looking here in left field, and Jack Parsons is in left. Kelton Porter still in center. Can you see right field?
Yeah, I think it's still Grayson out there, but I can't.
Actually, I can see
Berkeley.
It's going to be Berkeley because I can tell he's kind of playing around a little bit. And Berkeley will be in right field as ball 4 loads up the bases again. I believe, Stuart, is the score 7-1?
I had it as 6-1, but I think you're right. I think it is 7-1.
See, we do have all authority back here. We could just shave some points, make it look like Salsevier's in the lead, but unfortunately they are trailing 7-1. This is still a good ball game. Salsevier struggling in this inning to get an out. Bases loaded and no outs.
I'd say this has probably been the one thing that's separated the better teams from teams like ourselves at this point, is the defense just isn't quite as good as some of these other teams. And our boys will get to that point. You know, they just lack a little bit of experience and time on the field. But they've made huge improvements throughout the course of the year, and they've gotten a lot better.
Yes, I mentioned last game, just as the play at the plate and the runner's safe, I mentioned to you last game that where these kids started the first of the season was where a pitcher would probably pitch 1 inning, and if a pitcher ever got to 3 balls, a coach comes in and finishes the count, forcing the kids to hit, which is a good thing, but it also gives these pitchers a free ride. And now pitchers have to pitch, catchers have to catch. If catchers get past balls, they have to go get it. And at the first of the season, when you mention how far these kids have came, first of the season, if you watch them then and watch them now, any dad or parent or family member would be very proud of all their boys. And Roberts gets a strike.
I remember a couple years ago when my older boy was playing 8U in a tournament, their first tournament, first game, the first pitch of the game was thrown past the catcher. The catcher turned around and looked at the umpire and wanted another ball. And the umpire's like, no, you got to go get that ball. So there's a big learning curve for our boys at this age to go from playing the rec league rules to these tournament rules.
I also am on a Facebook group for baseball coaches, tips and tricks, and not all areas is 8U a kid pitch. You know, there's some areas where 8 years old, they're still having the coach pitch to their kids because they want to develop that hitting.
You know, I even look back to the 40 years ago when I played at this age, and we played t-ball. There was no pitching when I played it as an 8-year-old. So these kids are advanced beyond what I was at this age.
Yeah, we put a lot of pressure on these kids, and they all seem to handle it well. Roberts trying to fight through a tough inning here. And we might have a pop fly to third base. And Riley Sawyer makes the catch.
Yeah, that was a good play by Riley. He took command and charged up and caught that fly ball. There for a second, my heart kind of fluttered, worried that Cutler was going to have to catch another pop-up, which he's been struggling at. But Riley took command and caught that ball, made a nice play.
And strike 2. Getting a little cloud cover, but something must be wrong with my temperature gauge. Must be in the sun because it says it's 117 out there. That might be what Scottsdale is used to practicing in.
Yeah, let's just say it's hot out there.
The weather forecast calls for thunderstorms later today and some clouds rolling in. Yesterday, Stuart and I, we were debating whether or not we would have to do it from this truck. Not because of the heat, but because of the rain. At 4 o'clock, according to my weather app, is the biggest chance of thunderstorms at 34% chance of rain.
What a difference a day makes. I mean, yesterday we were outside almost the whole day saying how pleasant the weather was, and now today we're complaining about the heat again. So I would imagine that in an hour or so that cloud cover will come and it'll feel good again as long as it doesn't get a downpour.
Ground ball to third base. Sawyer picks it up and makes the third out at home plate. Great play by Sawyer to get the force.
That was a great play. You know, Riley fielded that ball cleanly, and normally you say you get the out at first where the force play is, and Riley elected to go home, and we still made the out, made a great play. So good job, Riley.
I think you can pour some of that in there.
This might be.
I know.
Oh.
And we'll do some more sponsors for you while we're waiting for this inning. Jorgensen Honda is a family-owned and operated business established in 1964. Jorgensen's is a one-stop shop for all your big boy toys and your outdoor needs. They service what they sell, and they will make sure you are a satisfied customer. Give Dennis or Mike a call at 435-896-6408. And Sevier Valley Hospital as your community hospital. Sevier Valley Hospital remains true to their tradition of providing high quality, affordable health care with a personal hometown touch. Kimball and Roberts CPA wishing the South Sevier Rams the best of luck in this tournament. Thanks, Kimball and Roberts CPA. Monroe Canyon Assisted Living is a beautiful home with warm and caring atmosphere, providing large private rooms with a 24/7 support and healthcare services. We promote independence and social interaction in a loving, safe environment for each and every resident. Stuart, I want to know if your answer to your boy is the same as mine. I asked my kid what he was most excited about this week with baseball, with basketball, with the festivities in Monroe. And again, to just remind you that these boys are 8 years old, my boys both were most excited of being in the Monroe parade.
So it's funny you say that, because for weeks now, ever since we won that state championship tournament in Huntington, that's all my boys talked about is are we going to be in the parade? How do you know if we're going to be in the parade? Are you sure we're going to be in the parade? And I keep telling him, yes, Cutler, we will be. So I would agree. I think that's the thing he's looking forward to the most.
And we will have, I think, some more substitution changes up to bat. We'll try to keep on top of this with Game Changer and the tools we have at hand. That's Cutler Hepworth up to bat.
I'm not sure what the count is exactly. I thought it was 3 balls and a strike, or 3 balls and no strikes. It might be 2-1 though as well. Did you notice what it was, Rick?
I'm off too. I'm trying to get the on deck at batter. I know ground ball, foul ball. I know Grayson Weary was substituted out, and I'm wondering if that's Jack Parsons on deck. And a slow roller, and the pitcher gets up and makes a play. Great throw, great catch by Scottsdale, Arizona. This team is fundamentally sound defensively. I I cannot in my memory find or think of an error that they've made.
I don't think they have made any errors, and again, that's the difference between our team right now and some of these better teams. Had we been in that same position, I'm not sure we could have made that play, and they charged that slow roller, picked it up, and fired to first for the out just in time. And again, that was a great play by Scottsdale, and you have to take your hat off to them.
Another thing that I've noticed is a lot of our at 8U, a lot of our tournaments has disallowed bunting. And I saw a couple bunts earlier in the tournament, and we as the South Severe Rams have not even taught our kids how to bunt.
Or even how to defend the bunt, I think.
Yeah.
And that's been a concern a little bit watching these other teams that have utilized a bunt. If our boys were able to know what to do to charge and field that ball quickly to get an out. And, I think that's something that they'll learn as they go, but we weren't expecting to even see that in this tournament.
Yeah, as a father and a dad, I feel for my son who struck out. And watching from a dad's perspective, not a commentator's, I seen him in the dugout with that inning. He also sat the bench. He had his helmet on and his bat in his hand, ready to get back up and face and try to get out of that slump. He's substituted out, but one thing I was taught in high school, I remember some of the best ways to get out of a slump is the coach will give you the bunt sign, ground ball, and that's going to be foul ball.
And truthfully, that's all it is sometimes. It doesn't matter how hard you hit it, but just getting a base hit, getting on base can break you out of a slump. And, Jack's been in a little bit of a slump right here too. And if he could put the bat on the ball and get a base hit, it would change his confidence as well.
And ball in the dirt. Jack Parsons takes a walk to first base. Up next, I believe that is Knox Piper. In the hole will be Easton Twitchell. Easton is the easiest one from our distance to know who he is. I'll let you tell us why.
Yeah, Easton is easy. He's got that long blonde hair, and I teased him a couple weeks ago and asked him if I could cut that hair if he didn't get a base hit, and he wouldn't agree to even do that. I tried to make a bet with him or something, and there was no way he was going to cut those long golden locks. So Easton is easy to distinguish out there, and hopefully as he gets up to bat, he'll be able to pound one somewhere.
And as Knox Piper, a check swing, he went the distance, and that's a strike for Knox. Pass ball. Knox Piper up to bat. South Severe down 7. And Knox, ground ball to third. Third baseman fields it cleanly and makes an awesome throw to first base. But Knox advances the runner. Great job by Jack Parsons being aware and getting over to third in scoring position. That will be 2 outs for the Rams.
And again, with 2 outs and down 7 runs, it's important here that we try to get that run in to score, and let's hope that Easton can get that hit that we need.
High ball, and we're going to have a play at the plate, and he's safe, and South Severe gets their second run. Jack Parsons doing a great job getting on the bases and getting around and scoring on that passed ball.
It's runs like that our team really needs to manufacture against these good teams. So when we do get that walk, it's good to see us get him all the way around and allow him to score like that.
South Severe from the very first at-batter has been aggressive on the ball field. The first batter reached first base and then was caught stealing on second. So credit the coaches for being aggressive and getting Jack around.
Yes, absolutely. And I would always rather err on the side of aggression in these situations than be cautious. And so even when you do get caught stealing here and there, I think it's good to be aggressive with these kids.
And a foul ball over the fence for Twitchell. Twitchell takes a couple practice swings. A slight breeze out there. I would say defensively, Scottsdale, Arizona, defensively at least, can hang with the big boys. I have not seen very many errors, and I've seen a lot of hard hit ground balls where other teams might make errors. Fielded cleanly, and Twitchell strikes out, and that's the end of the inning for the Rams.
But, you know, you have to chalk that up as a positive inning for the Rams as they put another one across the plate. And truthfully, 8-2, this game is still not out of reach. What it's going to come down to, though, is we have to get stops, you know, and get outs this inning without allowing them to score too many runs and hopefully get through this inning as quickly as possible.
Scottsdale having a cheer before they go up to bat. Couple more sponsors for you. Jones and DeMille Engineering for all your engineering needs, with offices across the state of Utah. The infrastructure professionals. Give them a call at 435-896-8266. We wish all the teams the best of luck this season. Thank you, Sevier Valley Oil. They are located at 1105 South Highway 118 in Richfield. They have all your fuel, oil, and lubricants needs covered. They offer propane delivery also. Sevier Valley Oil is locally owned and open to the public. You have the same, I believe there's no substitutions for South Sevier. Same outfield. I believe that's the same infield also.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we've got the same defensive alignment as we had last inning. You know, and again, a lot of times with our boys, it seems like if we can get that first out, we can get them bang, bang. But if we get a runner or two on base, that's when we seem to struggle the most.
One more sponsor for you, Big O Tires. They have the buying power to bring you great prices on tires, along with oil changes, batteries, brakes, alignment, and much more. Shop with confidence and call Troy, Cal, or the entire Big O team. They will make sure you are taken care of. They're located at 208 South Main in Richfield. Another thing I wanted to mention, Richfield will be playing later today. It will not be broadcast, so we want you, Richfield folks, to get down here and support your boys. How cool is it that your team is in a state tournament? And you know, one thing I noticed is a couple of the Richfield dads were volunteering fields crew and stuff, and they brought their boys. And one thing that's important to notice is South Sevier and Richfield have been and always will be rivals. But before both teams were playing, I seen the boys just kind of getting along with some Richfield with some Richfield boys. And another thing to mention, Stuart, is how close all these young men, I say young men, these 8-year-olds are together as friends.
Yeah, I think that's as important as anything, is that these kids remain friends and that they learn to grow and have such a large group of friends, even with the kids that aren't on this team that are this same age. And I think there are some out there that maybe not playing right now, but they're good kids and they're good friends of these boys that are here too.
Yes, I've had just about every one of these boys over to my house, playing with my boys, and it's not always been sports. Sometimes it's just been setting up a lemonade stand on the corner, and they want to invite a friend over, and these boys are truly great athletes, but they're also good human beings and great friends to each other, and just great boys. I believe this is Ray's Roberts pitching. And Nick's is catching, so I believe there might have been a change that inning. And Kel Larson gets the out at first.
Yeah, and so far this is the kind of inning we needed, 2 up, 2 down. Let's hope we can get this third out and get out of this half inning without giving up any runs.
Need water?
He's got one.
Need one?
He's got one.
The lefty up to bat for Scottsdale. And swung on and a miss. Another thing that just to note, Scottsdale, Arizona, they have the ability to play year-round, and that sometimes is the case for a lot of these teams. They've been playing a lot more baseball. The team South Severe faced last night, Northern California, they had their record on their Game Changer app was 52 wins and 2 losses. So for a team to get 52 games in a season, they've got to be playing a lot of baseball, and sometimes that's why they're better.
Well, not only that, I've often thought, had I had this same opportunity, I would have been really pleased as a kid, because baseball was my favorite sport, and I certainly didn't get to play as many games as kids get to play these days with the traveling leagues and all the different tournaments throughout the year. But, at the same time, I'm glad that our boys are well-rounded. They play basketball, they play baseball, they play football, they play soccer. They seem to do it all, and I love that.
As the big lefty steps into the box, and Ray's Roberts threw that poor kid was holding the time out, holding the hand up as he stepped in the box, and I believe it hit off of his hand in the bat. Tough kid shakes that off.
Yeah, I just keep looking at this big kid, and I think if he gets a hold of one, it might go a long ways.
And that's a strike. We thought that the same thing last at bat, but it was a slow grounder to shortstop. Now we have Easton Twitchell on third and Riley Sawyer on short.
And that's something else I've liked that Lance and Nathan and Michael Matthew, the coaches, have done. They've moved these kids around and had them play a lot of different positions, and I like that kids are well-rounded and moving around the field.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, good. How's that? Stuart with service with a smile. We just got delivered in left field some ice cold water bottles.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel like those Major League Baseball announcers I see on TV where they get brought treats and stuff between innings, and that's the kind of service we're getting, and then we're the ones sitting in the air-conditioned truck. So how about that?
Sign us up. Was that Michael's mom?
Yeah, that was.
You know her name?
Yeah, that was Tamara.
Tamara just brought us drinks here, and a deep fly ball. Knox gets under and makes the catch. No, that's Jack Parsons. Gets out of the inning, and Jack Parsons able to get under that and make the catch.
Oh, that was an incredible catch by Jack. That could have been disastrous, and the big lefty hit one out to left field, and Jax ran over and made a great catch, a shoestring catch right there. And you know, what a play. That's, again, one of those plays that 8-year-olds don't always make, but Jack did it. So that was a great inning for these Rams, where we got 3 outs without giving up a run. And you know, we're still in this ball game. Who knows what can happen? We just need to get those bats going.
Yeah, as Coach Roberts talks with all the boys, score is 2-8, I believe.
Yes, that's the score I have as well, 8-2. So 6 runs is definitely not an insurmountable lead. It's just going to take some good hits. Again, this Scottsdale team has been very solid defensively, haven't made any errors. So we need to have good, solid, clean base hits that find those holes.
We'll see who Salsevier elects to bring up to bat. I think there was a substitution change.
And we've got a new pitcher again here for Scottsdale, and again, you never know what kind of pitching every other team has got, and so this might be the kid that our kids are able to hit and score some runs off of. So it's just one of those things where you haven't seen these teams play. You don't know what they have and where they're going to be, but I would assume that defensively they're not going to change. They're still going to be solid, but maybe we can get some hits off this kid.
And another honor as a dad and father to be able to announce Berkeley Weary will be the first up to bat. Maybe, I'm not sure. He's in the on deck circle. Berkeley being thrown right now into a tough position. He's only had 1 at bat this tournament. He struck out that at bat. I told him, I had the pep talk with him earlier. I said, you might get a chance, and if you do, you need to make the most of it.
Yeah, and that's a lesson all these kids need to remember. Regardless of how many opportunities they get or how many chances they don't get, they need to take advantage of those opportunities that when they come. And you know, I'd tell my boy the same thing. If he were to get pulled out, he just needs to take advantage of his chances.
And Burke swinging aggressively close. I had a pep talk with him also, you know, with Burke today, and you know, for a kid who sits the bench the majority of the game, he has the best attitude. His mom was talking to him also, and as he looks at strike 2 on the outside corner, Burke being ready to swing. As a dad, I'm saying a prayer in my head. And swung on strike 3, low pitch. Burke runs back to the dugout, but I mentioned the attitude that Berkeley had this morning. You know, like I mentioned, he gets to play 1 or 2 innings and maybe 1 at bat and sometimes no at bats in the game. His attitude was, I get to sit on the bench and cheer my team on, and when I do get an opportunity, I'll do my best. As we get a single from Rays Roberts at the top of the lineup.
Yeah, with Berkeley, I've watched him swing the bat a little bit this year, and he's got a good swing on him. It looks to me like those 2 swings in this at bat, he just pulled his head off the ball a little bit. So he's close. He's right there. And then now with who was that Rays that just got a good solid base hit to right field, we just need to keep that momentum going and see if we can get those plate runs across the plate.
Nix Roberts up to bat. Nix has struck out his first at bat. Nix has struck out both at bats. So let's see him to hopefully redeem himself and get back on the hitting track. Pitcher eyes the catcher. And that's just a bit outside. Ball 4 for Nix as he takes his base.
Yeah, we're in a position right here to get a rally going, and with Kelton up, this is one of our better hitters who's been consistently hitting the ball hard. Let's see if we can get a rally going. I'm gonna put my rally cap on and see if we can get something going.
Absolutely. He's not lying, folks. Stewart just put his hat on upside down and inside out. We got the best view from the house as the runners advance to third, and the umpire sends them back. We might have an early lead. They left early.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, why they had to go back, but I'm glad they're looking to advance. That's what we need to do.
Kelton fouls it off in the dirt. And ground ball back to the pitcher. Gets the out at first. Kelton Porter advances the runners though. Runners on second and third. Smart play by the pitcher to get an out.
And again, this is Riley up. He's one of our better hitters. Let's hope he can get a base hit and drive these runs in.
Riley ready for the pitch. Swung on. And missed. Line drive right back to the pitcher, and he could make it. Well, luckily that was, well, not luckily, but that was the third out.
Again, Riley was just a little bit unfortunate on that hit. He put the barrel of the bat on the ball and lined out to the shortstop. But, you know, I tell my boy all the time that there's things you can control and things you can't. When you're up there at the plate, the most important thing you do is try to hit the ball hard. And Riley did just that. He hit the ball hard, and unfortunately for him and our team, it went straight to the shortstop who made the play.
And with not a lot of time left, I'm wondering if this, nope, it does look like the Rams will take the field. I'm not sure if we will finish the inning, but I'm not sure if we will have enough time to start the next. Rays Roberts pitched that last inning and did a great job on the mound holding Scottsdale scoreless.
Yeah, and if we are going to take the field here, if we want to keep playing, we need to get through this inning much like we did last inning, a quick 3-out inning and get back in and get the bats going. You know, if Scottsdale's able to put some runners on base and score some runs, this game will end before we have that chance.
Rays back in at pitcher. Left field again. Well, left field has changed. It's now Knox Piper. Center field, Kelton Porter. He usually stays out there. And I can't see right field from my...
Right field looks to be Madden Matthey out there.
Okay. We'll have Easton Twitchell on third. Riley Sawyer on short. Cutler Hepworth on second. Kel Larson at first. Which means Nix Roberts will probably be at catch. Berkeley Weary also, you know, I mentioned how hard it would be to come into a game with one at bat in the tournament, and I just wanted to mention another role he plays on the team. Berkeley is a pitcher, but he doesn't have the speed to really wow anybody. But Berkeley has the ability to throw strikes, and a lot of times Berkeley will be utilized in practices in order to pitch BP to our own team.
You know, and sometimes a kid that doesn't throw real hard will throw the timing off these hitters, and they will either make weak contact or completely miss and get strikeouts. So Berkeley's a kid I would not be afraid to use in this tournament to pitch.
And Scottsdale, without number one, a hit off the handle right back to Rays, able to make the catch, and that's one out for Scottsdale. And ball one in the dirt outside. Ball two outside again. And Roberts on the mound. And that's ball four. Scottsdale puts a runner on first. Number 23 in the game for Scottsdale. He walked his last at bat. And Roberts having a hard time finding the strike zone. And a long fly ball to right field. Madden Matthey picks it up fast and stops the damage to only a single. Great job by Matthey getting that ball in. That was a hard hit ball. Another really hard hit ball to the outfield.
Yeah, that was a good job by Madden. It was a good base hit, and Madden ran over, got in front of it, and got it back in before those runners could advance any further.
Another thing to note is in our previous tournaments and a lot of South Severe's earlier games, outfielders weren't getting fly balls. You know, you might get a one here or there, but we've seen Kelton Porter, Jack Parsons, and a few other outfielders make some great plays in the outfield. And that's a ball. I don't know if it hit him. Good job by Kel Larson getting that back to the pitcher. Off the backstop for a strike. I believe this is number 27, and he is the top of their lineup. Swung on, ground ball to first base. It gets through the infield. Madden Matthey picks it up, gets it to second base, and the runner's going to try to advance to home. There's no play there. RBI for number 27. And Scottsdale on the board again. You got 10. Score is 10-2. Salsevier wanting to, if they want to go into the next inning, if there is time, they'll need to limit Scottsdale so they don't get 10 run.
Yeah, that's the danger at this point, being down 10-2. If Scottsdale gets 2 more runs across, that'll effectively end the game.
Ray's Roberts doing a pretty good job of working through this, still pitching good strikes. And ball high for Roberts. As a dad, when your kids get mentally in their own head, my plan for after this game, just to give you guys an insight, as the line drive over second baseman, and he's going to turn that into a double. My plan after this game is just to take my boys away from the field, feed them lunch, and let them just not think about baseball for a minute, not bring it up or anything, let them be boys.
You know, we did the same thing yesterday. Cutler had a rough day yesterday in the field and was feeling a little bit down, and instead of dwelling on those mistakes and worrying about it, we let him just go play on the bounce house, slip and slide water park they had set up here at the park. And a lot of times you'd say, oh, you worry about them wearing out and doing those things, but I think kids need to be kids sometimes and just have fun.
And another run scores, and that makes the game a 10-run, and Scottsdale gets their victory. Salsevier with another loss. They are 0 wins and 3 losses, and some tough fought battles.
Yeah, and again, though we come out on the short end of a 10-run defeat, I'm proud of these kids, and I'm proud of their efforts out on the field. And And the honest truth is Scottsdale was the better team. They're more solid defensively than what we are, and they put the bat on the ball and hit it. And our boys need to take this as a learning experience. This is nothing negative or nothing against what they've accomplished. They've just, are seeing some good teams that have played a little bit more baseball than they have.
Yeah, South Sevier now will do a gift exchange. I think they'll do a gift exchange with this team in order to make friends with them and be good show good sportsmanship. Each team has brought gifts for every team that they play, and they exchange it at home base. Very great tradition. I really like it. This time I think South Sevier is giving out punch bags from Ideal Dairy.
That's one of the learning experience that sports needs to teach is to be good sportsmen when on the losing end of a contest like this. And as I look at our boys, I'm sure they're upset, but by exchanging those gifts, I think they can end on a positive note.
Yeah, I see a lot of South Sevier walking and having their heads down. Hopefully next game they'll have a chance to be on the other end and get some hits and some runs and come out with a victory. Look for them again tomorrow. They will play the late game, and I believe that game has changed. It is at 5:30. So South Sevier will play at least two more games. Tomorrow will be at 5:30, and South Sevier kind of working through the tough part of the pool that they're in, getting some tough games. And Coach Roberts and Matthew talking to the boys now, probably telling them to keep their heads up. One more time, I want to read off the sponsors for you, and we sure are thankful for all these sponsors bringing you all these games. Sevier County, Monroe City, Snow College, Jorgensen Honda, Sevier Valley Hospital, Kimball and Roberts CPA, Monroe Canyon Assisted Living, Jones and DeMille Engineering, Sevier Valley Oil, and Big O Tires. Thank you for all you do for us. Thank you, Mike Parsons and Reggie Parsons and the Parsons family, for bringing and putting this on KTTA. And thanks, Stuart Hepworth, for calling this game from the comfort of our air-conditioned pickup truck.
Thank you, Rick, for letting me be here with you, and hopefully tomorrow we'll be back with a victory.